Discover how to measure your success in a way that unlocks your future potential without having to grind harder. The key to measuring real professional and personal growth is by avoiding comparison to outside forces and impossible ideals. What do I mean? This is a concept that Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan share in their books, The Gap and the Gain, and also 10x is easier than 2x, where you learn that the only valuable point of comparison is to look at where you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 week ago, and 1 day ago, to look at the contrast between where you were then and where you are today. I don't know about you, but in the past, I had not been good at this. I would have thought about myself against all of the amazing professionals I knew who seemed to be doing everything right and gaining the traction, reputation, and jobs to go along with all of that. And at the end of the day, I always felt like I hadn't done enough. I hadn't accomplished enough. But now I look at myself in comparison only to my past self. Kristen 10 years ago, Kristen 2 years ago, Kristen yesterday, who was not feeling very good, by the way. Hardy and Sullivan actually have questions that you can use to help you take a look at all of the progress that you have made. And I will paraphrase them here in my own words. So, what has changed for the better when it comes to you as a person over the last 3 years? This isn't just talking about professional achievements. It's also talking about personal achievements, because we need to celebrate all kinds of growth that we're having. And like Rachel Peterson says, what we celebrate, we can replicate. So we want that continued growth. The next question is, what amazing and big things have you learned in the last 12 months? We as people can make a lot of progress in 12 months and then look back and be like, I did nothing. So it's really important for us to take an actual moment to consider the things that we have done and learned. And there's a tip and there's a trick to this that's coming up in a little bit. The next one is that we need to list 10 important things that we've completed in the last 12 months. So you're asking a vague question, right? What big things have you learned? But then next, you're actually going to make a list of the things you've completed. And when I made that list, I was like, oh, I have actually done a lot in the last 12 months. Next, you're going to focus shorter term. So in the last 3 months, in the last 90 days, what important and validating experiences have you had? The next one is, in what ways do you have more clarity about where you want to go and who you want to be than you did 3 months ago? Because as we're going through life, as we're leveling up, this should be changing all of the time. Okay, next question. How has your life transformed for the better in the last 30 days? When you are doing something and it can seem like I'm going to work every day and I'm doing the same thing and I'm not actually growing. I'm not creating an impact. So you need to take a concentrated look at what you're doing every month and how that's growing you, because I guarantee you are doing things. You're listening to podcasts, you're reading books, you're having inspiring conversations with people who understand you, you're being accountable to those who you know can help you get to the next level. Those are all things that can go on this list. What leaps have you made just this week? I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was super sick. I caught a stomach bug. And instead of pushing through and trying to do my meetings and trying to do all my work, I was like, what one thing do I need to accomplish today that can't wait? I did that, and I put off everything else so that I could rest and show up here today to work with clients and to make this video. And I wouldn't have done that 3 months ago. I wouldn't have rested. I would have just tried to push through the week and then probably crashed and been in bed all weekend, because that's exactly how I used to behave. So that is a leap forward. How have you improved in the last 24 hours? It can be something really small. It can be, today I chose a nutritious snack over candy, which I love candy. I try to choose nutritious snacks over candy. I don't always do that in a 24-hour period. So it can be something like that. Or I read, 15 pages in this book. I helped my kid do this, and that made our relationship better and stronger, right? So just pick one thing. You're telling your brain, look, see, I am accomplishing things. I actually have a Google Doc where I answer all of those questions that we just went through every 3 months, just so that I can see how far I'm leaping forward on a consistent basis. And what I find is that when I'm answering the long-term questions, like the 12 months, the 3 years, that I remember new things each time, because I'm doing a lot in 3 years. I'm doing a lot in 12 months, right? And I know you are too. So you might think, oh, every 3 months is too much to come back to those questions. But as I said, I remember new things, and that gives me strength to keep going forward. It gives me a tangible thing I can read when I'm having a really crappy day, because crappy days happen, because this is life. And entropy is unkind. I've been saying that a lot lately because it is. Hardy and Sullivan also recommend that you set yourself up for good sleep by journaling 3 wins that you've gotten every day as a way to wind down. And this is that trick that I was telling you about earlier, because if you're recording 3 wins every day, you will have a ton of stuff to put into your 12 months, your 3 months, your 3 years, right? You'll have that tangible evidence of the wins that you've had. And I love that, because you have that very concrete thing to look at that is real evidence of your improvements. So these simple exercises will help you look at yourself differently. But what can you do about the way that you look at other people? This is really important when we're thinking about how you can measure your success, right? So let's take a look at how past Kristen used to view others. I love and have so much compassion for past Kristen, and I appreciate that she lets me use her as an example in all of these videos. So I would see a friend sign a high 5-figure contract and think, they are so much better at this business thing than I am, and I will never get to where they are. And I looked at gurus and thought, I want to be like them, instead of, I want to be more like my true transformed self. Going on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok would leave me feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, or both. There was just way too much out there for me to do, and not enough time for me to learn how to do all of it, because I'm the person who's like, I need to be doing everything, when that's actually not true. So Kristen today, me, I look at other people and think, wow, that is so cool that they're able to lean into that impact and influence. I love that for them. But I also think, I don't feel any pressure to have the same wins or successes as they do, because I'm me, and my successes and wins will look different. That's amazing news, and I'm happy for both of us. What a difference, right? It is important to ask, though, why is it so valuable to measure our individual growth? Because you need to feel your individual growth to feel motivated to keep going. But you also need to know what these changes have been, because then you have the opportunity to think about them when you're building your offers. You have the opportunity to talk about them when you're describing what you do and why you are the person to help with a specific problem. The more you know about the changes and improvements you've made, the more your messaging and communication can reflect all of that progress. This builds trust not only for the people you serve professionally, but it also builds deeper trust in yourself and your ability to serve where you are now, and to also keep leveling up in the future. That is such a powerful thing. It's also valuable to talk about other more obscure ways that thinking about our progress and success breaks down when it comes to continued growth, right? Because we all want continued growth. Part of measuring how you're doing today means being honest with yourself about tomorrow. What do I mean? Are you being honest about what you want to do and what you really don't want to do? I'll give you a personal example. I don't like to do affiliate marketing. I'd rather just give a recommendation because it's a good fit and I want to help people. That doesn't mean that I think affiliate marketing is wrong. I just know it's not a fit for me because I simply don't like it. Did you know that you can choose not to do something because you simply don't like it? How freeing does that statement feel? Yes, there are things that all of us have to do, like marketing, sales, and offer creation. But even then, we still get to choose how we do those things. The fact that I don't like doing affiliate marketing doesn't mean that I think it's wrong or negative. I just know that it's not a fit for me because I don't like it. And trying to do it would be forcing myself to do something that will always be a struggle for me because of that natural dislike. And I want to say, both to myself and to you, that it's okay to not like things, even when they have the potential to make you money. Let me say that again. It's okay to not like things, even when they have the potential to make you money. And that's what 10x is easier than 2x is all about, actually. If you want to, I highly recommend it. You should read it. Being honest about what you really don't want to do can also mean taking practical action. So for example, this morning, I was finally honest with myself about my email problem. Yes, I have an email problem. My inbox has over 15,000 messages in it. I know that most people would consider that to be a professional failure because I don't have my inbox under control. Someday I will get to dealing with it. I assume that I will need the help of an unsubscription software of some type. So if you know of a good one, drop it in the comments, please. But today I went in and unsubscribed from a bunch of coaches that I've hoped to either work with or have on my podcast. At some point, you have to realize that building a business isn't all about investing with coaches and self-development. Yes, we should always be learning new things as humans and professionals, but we also need to be out there doing. The longer you work on yourself, the less you should be trying to learn how to do everything from a zillion different coaches. In our world of information overwhelm, it's also more important than ever to focus on acquiring one skill at a time. Does this mean that I get mad when coaches or consultants, whatever, slide into my DMs? No, I don't get mad, because I also slide into DMs of those people that I think can help. And sometimes it's the right timing for me to help them, and sometimes it's not. But this also means that I refuse to get sidetracked by shiny offers. And I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. And also, keeping all of this in perspective helps me avoid comparing myself to the success stories that coaches are throwing out in front of me. And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those testimonials that are supposed to, build know, like, and trust. A lot of times we're like, oh, I tried this method and I didn't get these results. And it can feel frustrating. But when I'm realizing I'm growing myself, I'm learning one skill at a time, I'm serving the people I need to be serving, I'm much less likely to compare myself to those testimonials. And not all of those testimonials are true also, which is a bummer because some people lie. My testimonials are true, right? Like, you can go check them on my page, but not everyone is telling the truth, and they inflate results, and they don't say, oh, like we spent $10,000 in the background to make this happen, right? They're not telling you all of the information. So it's really important to stop comparing whenever that opportunity arises. So here's what I want to say to myself. Are you ready? I'm doing great. I am taking my time to become the person I know I can be, and I don't need to compare myself to anyone else because I'm the only me. I want you to say that about yourself too. So repeat after me. I'm doing great. I'm taking my time to become the person I know I can be. And I don't need to compare myself to anyone else because I'm the only me. And when it comes to copywriting and offer creation, I know that I'm the only one who takes a 3-step holistic approach to making sure my clients are communicating well about the help they want to offer and getting rid of everything else. You are amazing. I believe in you, and your business story matters. Talk soon.